We should wait. We should do the whole episode properly. We forgot our names last week, so let's do it. Let's not fuck it up, and let's play the intro.
It's Meandering Movies. It's Meandering Movies. It's Meandering Movies. So won't you lend an ear?
So let's just go right off the bat and say that over the last 48 hours, I've had a total of 8 hours of sleep. So I am fucking ready to go, bitches.
I'm good. I've been running lots.
You've been running?
I've been running 5K a day. 5K every day.
That's impressive.
Thank you. I'm still fat. I put on 3 pounds. I started last Tuesday.
I've been going to the gym.
Look at us.
Look at us. We're getting healthy and fit and happy.
Being grown-ups.
Having sex.
not with each other.
No, well, not yet. But you keep trying to get into my bed. It's really annoying.
I will continue.
I know you will. And I'll never let you in.
Normally I end up sleeping in Philip's bed and he doesn't get a night's sleep because I snore a lot. So it's all good.
The nights we go out drinking are always a fucking shit show.
I think he said they're always about fucking. I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
I mean, it was fun
what
to
nights
be.
Have you been on?
It was fun to. Well, I guess it wasn't fun. I don't know if it was to be at your like birthday thing and be the only sober one. That was.
Is that an experience?
I need to be the drunk person. I can't be the designated driver. It's not me.
So,
and speaking of driving, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
Welcome to the Meandering Movie Podcast. I don't know how much. I don't know how long the intro was. I feel like we've talked for.
I think it's just going to be the
I
Swedish
feel like
meatballs comment and nothing
10
else.
Minutes, and I don't know where we're at. We're talking about Hobbs and Shaw this week. The movie that could be described as being too fast and 3 furious.
And who is talking about Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw?
I'm Gary Copeland.
And I'm a burned out Gavin Stewart.
I thought you were going to have something better.
These nicknames are really like falling apart in quality.
You know what the problem is
apart.
Sometimes we do it and sometimes we don't. So I'm like, do I bother preparing one today
Always
or not?
Prepare one. If you,
I'm the naughty donut hole Gavin because cars can do donuts.
And that's a sex thing.
It is.
Good on you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Hobbs and Shaw, which
Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. We must use its full title.
Is it called Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw?
It is.
The film?
I think it's Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
No, it's not.
Or is it Fast and Furious : Hobbs and Shaw?
I honestly cannot remember.
Because whatever what it is, I'm going to say the full title for the entirety of this episode.
We'll get it up. Hobbs.
Oh, we will get it up.
I've been calling it Calvin
Hobbs ampersand Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
We make ourselves giggle.
Fast and Furious presents : Hobbs and Shaw.
Yay! He's got a colon.
Do you know what genre this film is as well?
Action adventure?
Mystery action.
What? There's no mystery to it. Literally, the first scene explains what the film is
Why
about.
was this made? That's the mystery.
Because there is a god.
I don't know if it gets kept in, great. If not, we'll recap. 9th movie in the Fast and Furious film franchise.
And in my opinion, the best of the 9 movies.
Is presumably going into its own spin-off universe.
Yes. I mean,
I think that's the setup, right?
I think it's had the highest grossing opening of any Fast and Furious film yet. Dwayne The Rock Johnson has star power.
And, I mean, that film has star power. I mean, Jason Statham, meh. Ryan Reynolds.
No, Jason Statham's fucking solid. His fight
Jason
scenes...
Statham fucking solid?
He's good.
Jason Statham's like a wet shite
He
next to
talks
The
out
Rock.
the side of his mouth, but his fight scenes are fucking solid.
Jason Statham is like Vinnie Jones when Vinnie Jones thought he was tough. He's like the Ross Kemp
Yeah, okay, yeah.
of the acting world.
But him and Dwayne The Rock Johnson together are a wonderful match.
Yeah, good fun.
They have good chemistry.
And I think as far as I'm concerned, fundamentally, I had a lot of fun watching that film. I laughed a lot. I got in trouble for laughing too much at points where I shouldn't have been laughing because that film is nonsense and I couldn't stop laughing in places.
But I mean, like, are you talking about like a person around you was like telling you to shush?
I got a shush. I got
shushed.
Oh man. So
you got
all right.
shushed.
So you know what? Are we just going to spoiler warning this one up? It's a full episode based on it. We're going to have to.
Sure, yeah.
Aha!
Right. So spoilers for the movie. The
Fast and Furious
centipede
presents : Hobbs and
helicopter car scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was gone. I was so far gone. And it's meant to be serious, and it's meant to be not serious, but
like
it's
a
like
climactic kind of action. I'm talking I was talking into
talking
my
to your
beer
beer
bottle,
bottle, you
and not
fucking
my
idiot.
fucking... Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's meant to be the big climatic action sequence, and it's not played for laughs, not really. But I was so far gone at that. I mean, because this is the thing. That was where it all came to a head. The film is consistently batshit.
Yes.
And that's
moment.
probably the best review for it. Consistently batshit.
The film is like obsessed with one-upping itself with stupidity. It's just like, hey, look how stupid this is. Okay, now look how stupid this is, because this is more stupid.
Keep watching.
And wait, and now it's got stupider again. It's just like, okay.
The other bit that really... So these are the two bits that I laughed, but I really shouldn't have done, and I got shushed. So there was that bit, the centipede car thing, and that was near the end. And that one was I was completely gone, and I couldn't hold it together because it was just the head of nonsense, right? The one earlier in the film that really caught me off guard, and I laughed a horrendously loud, high-pitched, shrill laugh of just sheer joy and incredulousness. When those bad guys are rappelling out near the beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah.
They're running down the building, and then Jason Statham gets the elevator, and The Rock jumps on one of them.
Everyone's seen it in the trailer.
Everyone's seen that bit in the trailer. But what they haven't shown in the trailer, the bit that really, really made me laugh, is when The Rock jumps from bad guy number 1 to bad guy number 2.
Yeah.
And then bad guy number 3 lands and is just standing, I think, on the ground at this point. And The Rock on bad guy number 2 is pretty fucking high off the ground.
Yeah.
And he just fucking launches himself down like at the fucking third bad guy.
He increases his speed unnecessarily towards the ground.
And it just looks so fucking stupid.
And then it caps off with him just planting himself into a car and just getting up as if nothing had happened.
Oh, man.
And goes full on like, let's fight. And I'm just like, this is so dumb and I don't care.
It's so dumb. So, all right, so let's do it properly. Let's do our job. The job of the Meandering Movie Podcast. Let's do it for good. Let's start at the beginning. I'll work our way through a movie.
Should we give a wee quick plot synopsis? If you can, because...
Go for it, yeah. Why not?
Okay, there is...
The snowflake virus.
Yes, which an MI6 agent, I can't remember the actress's names, if Audio Boy wants to try.
Becky something. Or is that
Elizabeth Kirby.
Elizabeth Kirby. She's an MI6 agent, and she's trying to get a hold of this snowflake virus that can wipe out tons... And it's a MacGuffin. And then she injects it into herself.
Because Idris Elba's bad guy turns up
and
to steal it.
She then has 48 hours to get it out of her and then to the hands of the good guys. Idris Elba chases her. He is, quote, Black Superman or, quote, bad guy. He is superhumanly enhanced by mechanical...
By robotics.
Yeah.
He's not an android. He's a cyborg.
He's more like... He's technically a cyborg. He's got...
Robots are fully robotic beings that don't look like humans.
Yeah.
Androids are fully robotic beings that look like humans.
Like Data from Star Trek.
Cyborgs are...
Like Cyborg from the DC Comics. Like a man and machine put together.
All right, if you don't know what the DC Comics cyborg is, that's no fucking help, is it?
RoboCop's
probably a better... I was just going to say a human with robotic parts.
Yeah, so technically...
You know what's really fucking dumb about cyborgs, though? It fucks me off, and I hate cyborgs in all pop culture.
You get fucked off by a lot of things.
I get fucked off by stupid pop culture things more than anything, though. And cyborgs, right. Winter Soldier, prime example from the MCU
Solid
and Marvel,
movie.
right? Whatever. And Cyborg, right? I get a metal arm, and I decide I'm going to use my metal arm to lift up a car because it's a metal arm. I can do that now, and that's what you see a lot. You see people with robot metal arms lifting things you couldn't do before because weak human arms, right? Whatever. So I lift the car up. Now the metal arm lifts the car up, no problem. You know what does have a problem with me doing that? My fucking human spine.
Yeah.
So to combat that, you just give me a metal spine. Sweet. Now my fucking human kneecaps burst backwards. So it's fine. Fine. Give me some metal fucking kneecaps. Actually, while you're at it, just make my entire skeleton metal. Actually, while we're at it, why don't we get rid of all this shitty fucking fleshy muscle and just make all that just fucking build a robot. Just build a fucking robot. They can do the jobs better. There's no point having robotic parts attached to a human fleshy body because it's just fucking stupid.
But then you've seen what happens in RoboCop 2, where they put a brain into a robot and then it kills itself, and it's hilarious, that scene.
That fucking is a good scene. That's a real good
When it just
scene.
comes out, tears its own head off, or like steals the guy's gun and just shoots. It's just like, oh, it's so funny.
In RoboCop,
Mm.
what I didn't understand... Oh, man, what's happened? We've gone off. What I didn't understand... In RoboCop, they put the remnants of a human being and they make him a cyborg. They give him metal pieces. Then what they do is they then add in a bunch of shit so they can control RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just put his brain into the big mecha cop thing that has rockets and is fucking gigantic?
That was the next step, but they didn't get to that bit.
Why?
Because evil corporation, that guy's being bad and evil.
That's fucking stupid.
But that film's fucking like, I love it. Gus Van Sant. I think it's Gus Van Sant. Is Gus Van Sant?
He shoots a guy in the dick, a rapist.
Yeah.
That's a
Have you
great
seen?
scene.
Have you seen that weird,
Oh, is this the 50 different directors
yeah,
direct every scene from RoboCop?
And there's
It's amazing.
The scene where it's just 20 minutes of RoboCop shooting guys in the
Rapists
dick.
in the dicks.
It's so
That's
funny.
the best one. That one clearly had a bit
Well-
of budget put behind it.
It was Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, Paul
God, I'm so
Verhoeven.
dumb and pathetic. I might as well just give up.
Right. So that's Gary's issues with cyborgs.
Do you know my favourite thing is we were like, oh, let's give a plot synopsis. I got 1 second into the plot synopsis and then we talked about RoboCop. So yeah, Idris Elba, he's the bad guy. He wants the disease because bad guys want the disease to kill the world, I guess.
The voice, the evil mastermind of the Etion company wants
Yes.
the disease for bad guy purposes.
Yeah.
Evil voice presumably is a woman. That's why it's been heavily modulated to shock and awe you.
My thinking was that I thought it was gonna like turn out to be Ryan Reynolds.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Continue.
She puts the virus in her. She has to get it out. She's made to look like she's gone rogue. So she
Yeah.
goes on the run. Then
She gets The Rock and Jason Statham
because she
on
goes on
her
the run,
case.
they're like, well, let's hire the best tracker in the world, i.e. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, to track her. But he needs, I guess, someone to be a sidekick. So like,
Well, her brother.
but they don't know that. So there's
Well, Jason Statham does.
Yeah,
and I
no,
assume
no.
the people that hired him do.
maybe. But then they're like, oh, so Jason Statham and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
In fact, wait, no, the people that hired him definitely do because he just shows her the photo and that's how they get
Oh,
her
yeah, that's a good
on
point.
board. Him on board.
Rob McElhenney.
Yeah.
Not Rob McElhenney.
No, because that's fucking Rob McElhenney. You're thinking of Always Sunny.
He just looks like the English version of Rob McElhenney. And then they're just like, oh, you still need to work together to find. They're like, oh, we don't want to work together.
We hate each other.
Even though in Fast and Furious 8 we buried all of our problems and became friends, but now this film needs us not to be friends, so we're not friends anymore. And anyway, they track her down. It's like, she's my sister. And
This is
then
meant to be a brief plot synopsis.
I know. And then, I mean, that's it really. They meet up, and then it's just a case of them
And then
running
they
away
team
from,
up. Then Idris Elba's evil company makes all three of them wanted. So then The Rock, Jason Statham, and the woman all have to go on the run, but they also need to get the virus out, and they also need to take down Etion. Oh, that's the final big thing is the only way they can get the virus out of her is by going to the bad guy headquarters.
Wait till we get to that scene, because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to the power plant stuff. Oh my God. There's a scene in the power plant.
No, wait. Let's do it properly.
I'm just gonna put it. There's a single scene in the power plant thing that enraged me to the point that I got dizzy with anger. But anyway,
Oh, I'm excited. So yeah, okay, and let's do it. So that's the plot synopsis.
yeah,
we've done it.
So basic, but
It's so dumb.
It doesn't need to be complicated.
Now let's just do a very quick review, like a straight up.
Yeah,
You go first. What is your genuine review of this film?
the film is too long, but it's a fucking stupid blast. It's like I wish I had quite a number of drinks before walking into this film, and I didn't care because I was just like, it's just dumb fun.
Yeah, you're not
Like,
meant to
I think
think too hard on it.
we have brought, or I specifically have brought this film up on many other episodes of the podcast, talking about how excited I was to see this movie because the trailers were just delightful and how dumb they were, and I'm just like, this looks so stupid.
And the film surpasses the trailers.
Oh my God, does
on
it?
every front.
Because I was like, oh, they're going to spoil all the most stupid parts of the trailer. Oh, no. They keep some genuine, dumb arse
Gold
for this movie. And as it continues to go on, I just got lost in the madness. And I was just like, this is fucking so stupid, and I don't care. I'm having fun with how stupid it is until we get to the power plant, and then the power plant stuff happened, and I'm just like, oh no, this movie's falling apart. I think I hate it. And then it brings you back with Samoa and when they go to Samoa.
For God's sake, that whole sequence.
It was so stupid, but I mean,
stupid.
When they got to the Samoa stuff, I could not stop laughing. It was just like, what the fuck is happening? Also, I love the fact that like, we're going to try and flesh out the character of Hobbs, that being Dwayne Rock Johnson,
by giving him his family back.
It's like, we'll give him his family, and then we'll create some sort of relationship between him and the woman, which never felt. I don't know.
I mean, I seen that coming in.
I know,
at the very beginning when Dave told me, he was like, "That's Jason Statham's sister," and I went, "Oh, okay," which means The Rock's gonna bang her.
And I was just like, "Oh, okay."
He probably did.
There was something. Oh yeah, that was something that really baffled me that I don't think the film ever clears up. They keep alluding to the fact that Jason Statham and Idris Elba worked together at some point and were pals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then that's it. They're kind of like, hey, we were pals.
Oh, I thought that was a previous movie.
No.
I thought that happened in like Fast
Nope.
7
That
or
was
6 or something.
It's just like, hey, we were pals.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, but what happened? Like, kind of, they seem to suggest that Jason Statham shot Idris Elba in the head.
Once in the head, twice in the chest.
Yeah.
As we were trained to do.
But he's got no markings to suggest that.
Because he's been cyborged.
Yeah, but
they fixed him up.
Yeah, I guess. But it's still just like...
Cable's another cyborg. Stupid.
In fact, but then, do you know what this...
So dumb.
Do you know what this movie is? This movie is... Don't think about it. Just let it happen. That's what this movie
100%.
is.
100%. Yeah.
And because of that,
it's a film that... I mean, I don't know. It's just dumb action.
Yeah.
It's just
good
dumb
action. I'd say it's decent. It's good action for a movie of this scale. Like, the fight scenes are solid.
Mm.
There's a couple, like the one... There's one fight scene I was like, this is unwatchably bad. But there's quite a number, like the final fight scene between the three of them, that was with the awkward slow motion headbutts and punches in the rain. I was like,
the 300.
It's like, this is fine. It's like Jason Statham has a couple of fight scenes at the beginning, like, I'm a champagne problem.
I'm called what you might call a champagne problem.
I don't know if Michael Caine was in the movie. But yeah, like some of his fights, because Jason Statham's an action star, he can kick and punch. I was like, oh, this is kind of alright. But yeah, it's a movie of just like, don't think about it, let it happen. Get a couple of bevs in you first. It makes it a whole lot of a better experience, because I'd had quite a few gins and quite a few pints of tennis, and I was feeling loosely fun. And I was like, hey.
So my general review, pretty much the same. It's a real dumb, fun action movie. I hadn't seen, as I said, any of the Fast Furious movies up 3 onwards, so I kind of went in pretty blind and had no issues following it. If you like,
it doesn't really make the effort to tie itself to,
other than the occasional character that pops up, Helen Mirren and a few others.
I mean, Helen Mirren was only in number 8, so
Dave told me. Yeah, but I mean, I was saying to Dave, is that important? And he was like, nah, don't worry.
Yeah.
That was Ryan Reynolds' first.
Yeah, and Kevin
entry.
Hart as well.
But then Ryan Reynolds' one was the only one, and Idris Elba now, apparently. I 100% thought they were in previous Fast and Furious movies that they were gonna. You know what I mean? It was like a reference to that. But nah.
I was also then thinking, like, at one point the mysterious voice person was going to end up being Charlize Theron from number 8, because she's like this mega hacker woman who.
I assume it still probably could be. Or Michelle Rodriguez. That's my other guess.
Or it's going to be like Benedict Cumberbatch, who knows? And he's going to be crawling around on the floor again like a fucking idiot in a pajama suit.
What if it's Bill Cosby?
Jesus, that would be a twist.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was dumb. It was stupid as hell. I didn't get drunk before seeing it, and I still had a blast.
I didn't get drunk. I got tipsy.
I've seen what you call tipsy, and it's most definitely just.
How long after did I meet you? Because I finished work and he met me afterwards, and he was
Was he drunk?
a lot more than tipsy.
Yeah. Well, I'd had a couple.
A couple more after that. Okay.
Yeah, I'd had a couple waiting
Fair.
on you to finish your shift.
That's fair.
So I had. What did I do before the film?
You drank a bunch of gin and tonics. You just
No,
told
I
us.
did something before the film. Oh yeah. I hung out, drinking and eating. Where did I?
Drinking again? More drinks in there?
So, yeah, so I went for dinner. I had drinks. Oh yeah, I went to Hootenanny's.
Drank.
I had a pints out in the sun. It was lovely.
More drink. Yeah,
And then we walked up there, and there's a wee bar in the cinema, so stopped in there.
had another couple drinks.
I had 1 or 2 drinks in there. Then watched the movie that's way too long, so at that time the alcohol was able to slowly leave my body.
I seriously doubt all the alcohol had left your body by the time you left it.
I mean, a decent amount.
You visited 4 different pubs before you got
I
in there.
visited 2.
And you had pints with lunch.
Well, you know.
You were very clearly drunk.
I had a day off.
Anyway, yeah, there you go, guys. That's the film.
Yeah, I
That's
love how our movie review just turned into shaming me for my alcoholism.
That's the film. It's fine. It's dumb.
Like,
it's a laugh. Go see it.
if the trailers have you looking forward to the silliness, it won't let you down. If you're like, this looks dumb and stupid and I don't want to just...
Like me, because I was firmly in the camp of this looks beyond stupid. I'm not interested. And I had a fucking great time.
Isn't it interesting, though, that I'm the pretentious artsy wanker who watches pretentious artsy wanker movies, and you're the, I'll watch anything, I'm easy. And then when it came to this movie, I was like, give me it. I can't wait. And you were just like, nah, it looks shite.
But I think it's because, all right, and I said this to Dave afterwards. So now that you like this film, watch Skyscraper.
Okay.
Because if you enjoyed this, Skyscraper is just more of the same. It's just more dumb action nonsense for the sake of, we want The Rock to jump off of this crane onto a building. How can we figure that out? Boop. There you go. That
Do you know what's the
barely
thing?
fits in.
I find myself not watching a lot of Rock movies anymore because I don't want to. And when I do watch him in a movie, I'm just like, he's so non-human.
He's so big.
He's so, like, there's scenes where he's standing next to people and it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's that scene where, like, he takes off his shirt and he's got all his Samoan brothers around him.
Yeah.
And those are some big fucking dudes. But he makes them look like they're nothing. It's ridiculous.
It's so funny you say that, though, because The Rock is, if I see The Rock in something nowadays, what always put me off was the Fast and Furious moniker, because I was like, I haven't seen any of the rest of them. Meh, cars, whatevs. But when I see The Rock in a film, I'm 48% more likely to go see that film, because I think anything The Rock is in it's just funny to watch him.
I mean, you said it, you were like texting us after you'd seen it, and one of the ways you described what The Rock does was great. It was like he punches humans around like they're just
Made of paper.
It's like he's like, there's that scene where they're having the, like, because it's related to Fast and Furious, they have to try and plug in some car chase scenes.
Yeah.
And there's the one where, like, the first car chase that's supposed to be set in London, but it was filmed in Glasgow.
Yeah, that was so off-putting, purely because
I was there that
Glasgow
day when
Square.
they were doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I did see
Lots
you.
of gunshots.
There's
Quite
nothing like seeing a
terrifying.
Greg's in a Fast and Furious film to be like, yeah, that's great.
That's the UK.
But there's that moment where they're doing that car chase scene, and they're being chased by motorbikes, and I think I peed myself laughing at this moment.
I know exactly what
where
you're
he
going to say.
punches out the window and then just grabs the
the
man
guy.
who's driving the opposite direction on a
Catches him
motorbike,
off of a motorbike.
and it pushes him into a
Slams him
wall,
into a
and the
wall.
wall crumbles a wee bit. It's insane. And it's not only is the car going like 80 miles an hour one direction, the motorbike is going 80 miles an hour in the opposite direction, and he just stops the man dead, and his arm doesn't even flinch, and then he berates his body into the wall.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's
It's almost like he himself has also been genetically modified.
Oh, totally.
That's going to be the big twist in the next one.
Well, it's what I was saying to you. I think that the fucking movie makes such a point about Idris Elba being superhuman,
Yeah.
and then The Rock is there being superhuman.
I mean,
The entire movie.
that's the thing of like, so The Rock has now been in Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7, and 8. And with each one,
My
his...
boots goon baby is driving me. No, okay.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, no, I know what you're doing. I just wanted to leave you in that moment. But the things he's done as each film has progressed has become more and more ridiculous and unhuman, to the point in Fast and Furious 8 he redirects a missile with his body. So then to come into this one, and they're like, well, how do we give both Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham a villain that can match them in any sort of way? It's like, let's just make him a superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
that's the only way that we can do it. If he's superhuman, that's the only way Jason Statham and The Rock can potentially. Fuck. Speaking of superhuman nonsense, as far as the film needs something to happen, that movie is watching Jason Statham and The Rock get their heads battered against bricks, fists, buildings, throwing themselves off of buildings, getting punched by a fucking robot man. Everything happens to Jason Statham and The Rock, and they get back up, they dust off, they keep fucking fighting. Until one scene where they get surrounded by the bad guys, and they each get a light tap on the back of the head, and they crumple like a bag of fucking cookies. I don't know. They just crumble. They just literally hit the deck, and then it cuts forwards 3 hours, and they both wake up, and they're like, "Oh god!" And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
And there's a hilarious scene that then led into the scene that made me filled with dizzy rage.
Okay, wait. We're just skipping through this at a rate of knots. What else was phenomenal?
I mean,
in the beginning at least. What else was worth talking about? Ryan Reynolds was a fun cameo.
Yeah,
whatever.
the back and forth between him and Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the wee kids was very funny. But it's Ryan
It
because
was
it's Ryan
just
Reynolds
pure
being
Ryan
Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds,
They were pretty much.
Why is he in this movie?
He's a guy.
But you know, it doesn't really make sense. It's just like he shows up to give Dwayne The Rock Johnson the job to go hunt down this woman.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson refutes even knowing this man. He's like, nah, I don't know who this fucking
Ryan Reynolds' character is.
is.
Like, oh, we're best pals. Like, blah blah blah. As if, but the movie presents it in a way as if you have any context for where this friendship might have come from.
Again, I thought this was going to be a Fast and the Furious. Like, I thought Ryan Reynolds was a character from a previous Fast and Furious film, and this was like a fun.
I mean,
hey, look,
it
everyone.
feels like it with the way it presents it, but it's not. So you're just kind of dropped into this thing. You're just like, okay, but it just moves so fast, and Ryan Reynolds is so Ryan Reynolds that you go with it and
you
you're
accept
happy.
it. But at the end of that scene, after Dwayne The Rock Johnson saying, "Don't know you," Ryan Reynolds goes, "No, we're best friends." They then share a choreographed handshake, like best buddies.
Yeah.
So they clearly do know each other, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson has some level of respect for this guy. It's just, like with the rest of the movie, Philip, just go with it. Just accept it. It happens.
Don't think about it. Just let it happen.
Next scene. So yeah, that was funny and dumb.
Also, speaking of people that are in this movie, I've noticed that Eiza Gonzalez is on the posters and you've not mentioned her once.
She is in the movie for a grand total of 2 minutes.
Wait,
and that's being generous.
Which character was that?
She's the one that Jason Statham awkwardly kisses.
Jason Statham kissed someone in that film?
Yeah, remember? He's like, oh, we're going to go meet one of my old buddies from the MI6. And they walk into like this mansion in Russia and all these girls are there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Her.
And she
the
helps,
mafia woman.
she helps them get into the power plant, I think.
Yep. Yeah, she's in it for no time at all.
She literally has no...
I completely forgot about that character until right now.
I mean, yeah, like when I was coming out of the cinema and I was coming down the escalators, there was a big fucking poster for it. And then the person I was with, they were like, why the fuck is she on the poster? And I was like, yeah, that's a great point. Like, she does nothing in the film.
Is she from a different Fast and Furious film?
No.
What?
No.
So much of this film makes out like you should know what is going on.
The only people that have been in other Fast and Furious films are Jason Statham and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And Helen
Mirren. That's it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that changes everything. I mean, it changes nothing. But...
You know, yeah, literally. With these movies at this point, it's like, don't think about it, just let it happen.
That's weird then that the film makes such a point of, you should know, it's, did you ever play Shadows of the Damned on the PlayStation?
Don't think so, no.
That game starts you off at a boss fight, and it kind of does like a starring this character, and it's all very pop culture and like a comic book almost. And I remember saying to my mate at the time, I was like, it's weird, it's like this is like the sequel to a game. And my friend went, no, that's just how they've done it. It's just meant to be you've come in at the end of the boss fight, and then the real game begins when you get to hell, I think, or something like that. And it's just like a stylistic thing. But that's what this film feels like, that it's just giving you it, and then there's a load of history there, but it's not history that you get told about. It just has happened, accept it. These are all characters that
But when it comes
interact.
to these films, the way the Fast and Furious films always work is, what do we need for this plot thing to develop? It's like, let's just do this thing with this character, but that completely changes the entire structure of that character's story. Doesn't matter because we need this thing to happen for the plot. It's like,
whatevs.
I mean, with how much money these movies make and with how many people go to see them, it doesn't. It's like they just
nothing matters.
They put anything on the screen and it doesn't really matter.
I'll tell you what I loved at the beginning of the film, actually, and I think it continues for a good 20-minute segment. The symmetry opening.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's just a really nice way of showing, look, these two people are very different, but they're not. They're the same.
I mean, when Jason Statham was pouring that pint, I was just like, oh, I could go for one of those right now. I could go for number 7. But another thing that I noticed, especially in the beginning of this film, that the other Fast and Furious films don't have, is this film had kind of a sense of character to itself. Where there's like the music and the graphics and the stuff that shows up and the editing and the kind of the style of it. It felt like a movie that had a bit of life and character to it.
Yeah.
Whereas the other Fast and Furious are just very... They just kind of go forward and there's not a lot of excitement from them.
Yeah.
Except, of course, from the
you
big
can
action
tell
scenes.
that the director and the editor had... Like, the director, more so, had a very clear vision of the... This is going to sound really pretentious, but like the duality element that he was going for.
Yeah.
And he was clearly trying to make it, the whole film, a film of two halves until it all comes together and these two guys have to make friends.
So it was David Leitch and his other... So he did Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and John Wick,
Which John Wick?
the first one.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean,
he's-
that'll... Yeah,
But he's uncredited because, there was...
What, in John Wick?
Because there was like multiple kind of people who kind of spearheaded that film.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so that's a pretty solid...
Pretty good. Yes.
And it kind of shows
that.
why the action in this film is pretty damn good.
Yeah. So that's the beginning of the film. Power plant stuff.
Yeah, so...
So wait, so there was 2 power plants though, isn't it? There's the one in the actual, or is that all the same scene? Oh my god, I'm so
Power plant
confused.
thing goes on for a while, but there's that one where like they go into 2 separate corridors because...
But that's near the end. That's not power plant. That was the headquarters.
Okay.
Power plant stuff happened in the middle, and that's where they're literally at the power plant.
I'm just getting towards the
Oh,
scene.
is that all the same
I
scene?
think it is.
Is that the
Yeah,
bit in
no,
the
it
trailer
is.
where they're like chained up and it's like 3
Yeah.
shots?
Yeah,
will kill
that's
you?
all the same.
that's
Sorry,
just- oh,
you're
wow.
100% right. For some reason, I've got the headquarters shit at the end of the film, but that's the Samoa is the end of the film.
Yeah.
Sorry, you are 100% right.
So yeah, they go to the power plant. They've got the 2 corridors. What?
Dumb as fuck.
That scene went on. It was funny at first, and then it just went on a bit too long. And then for how that scene ends, they got through it. They walked through the door, and then they immediately get caught. I'm kind of like, well, that kind of deflated
Yeah.
everything. I'm just like, we're gonna get into this base, and we're gonna be sneaking, blah blah. Here's this kind of funny action scene, and you caught. It's like,
The sight gag of Jason Statham smashing those 10 men's faces into the thing is funny at first. But, dear listeners, if you go and see this film after listening to this review, just pay attention to how hard Jason Statham is actually smashing their faces into that thing. Because the first couple went by and I went, haha. And then the third one happened and I was like, oh man, he really, really rammed that. And then with every subsequent one, I watched him just go, poof. And it made it 10 times funnier every single time.
Also,
those poor men.
The film missed out on an easy joke because at one point during the fight scene, he uses restraints to tie 2 men together. And I was like, oh, they're going to do a funny bit where he's going to pick one up, but they're going to be like, they're going to be awkwardly chained together, and he's going to have to like, and then there's going to like, he'll slam the face in, and the other guy's face will slam into his dick, and it'll be a funny dick punch joke or something. But no, it's just like he just slams faces into the wall.
It's good though. I'll enjoy that. I like how The Rock as well had that one big guy and he just fucking clobbers him with a wrench.
Oh, he just punches him.
Does he just punch him out?
Just one punch.
Again,
He's one punch man.
More testament to, hey, look, Jason Statham has to fight 10 regular sized guy. The Rock has to face one gigantic man, and you think that's going to be a fair fight for The Rock. You think you're about to see The Rock and this giant man go toe to toe. Nah, The Rock still punches him out in a solid single punch.
But then once again,
Inexplicably.
the Jason Statham fight scene, solid fight scene,
It's a good fight.
good choreographed. And then we get to the interrogation scene, in which
Dumb.
because it's in this time in the film where the film had the chance to really up itself, because the biggest failure of this film is that it has Idris Elba, who is a very talented actor. Yes, his recent choices of movies have been god awful.
But that's going to go up with his inclusion in the film Cats coming out later this year.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen the trailer for Cats yet,
So it's awfully arousing.
Just don't do it.
I want you to get
Avoid it.
I want you to get like a bag of heroin, and I want you to take the entire
We
bag.
here at the Meandering Movie Podcast do not condone the use of
don't-
illegal
Do
substances.
heroin.
But when it comes to the Cats trailer, I want you to take the entire bag of heroin, overdose, and die, and that's how you should experience the Cats trailer, because it's fucking atrocious. It might be one of the worst things I've ever seen, and it's just the trailer.
My mate Andy said it, and it was the perfect thing that if they just made them all like the Lion King CGI cats that were then speaking, fine. If they'd made them people in cat costumes that were very clearly costumes, like a stage show, fine. This weird, straight down the middle, they're animated.
Uncanny Valley.
But also they're not animated. Also they have tits, but not 6 tits, just regular human breasts is fucking
It's like when
awful.
in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4 male turtles are just turtle-like, but then the female comes along, she's kind of got breasts. Like,
how else do you show female animals compared to male animals?
and of course she's got a pink bandana because she's a woman. Yeah, there's a moment in that Cats trailer. I can't remember who's the woman. Is it Jennifer Hudson that's singing near the end of it?
Jennifer Hudson.
If you watch that moment, the CGI is clearly not done because the cat's moving in one way and her face is moving in a different direction from the cat. It's just like kind of floating around the head
It's
area.
just a fucking nightmare.
Also, I said this when Audio Boy and I, he was like, "Oh, there's a trailer out for Cats." And I'm like, "Oh God, let's put this on."
God.
And it goes starring, and the first name it shows is James Corden. And I'm like, if you lead off the bat with your movie being like, having James Corden,
and it's that weird scene where he belly bumps something off the screen with the fucking trombone going off.
looking at that, they have Sarah McKellen, they have Judi Dench, they have Idris Elba, they have
Taylor Swift,
they have Taylor Swift, they have Jason Derulo,
Jennifer
and who
Hudson.
did they choose to be like? Look who we have, fucking James Corden,
What?
the plague of cinema.
In fairness,
The
that's the
fucking-
first name that comes up, but before that you do very clearly see Judi Dench and Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, but
Cats.
don't lead off with James fucking Corden, the absolute infestation of shite that he is.
Right.
Yeah, so the interrogation scene in the movie. Yeah, the biggest failure of this film is it has Idris Elba, talented actor. He makes some terrible movie choices recently, but he literally, the film says it. He goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Bad guy," and that's
Bad
it.
guy.
That's literally all he is. He is literally just bad guy. And I'm like, do something with this character. And I feel in the interrogation stuff where that's where they had the chance because you've got the connection between Jason Statham and Idris Elba's characters. I'm like, we can flesh this out. We can try and understand his motivation. Maybe see a side to him. Do a Thanos. Make him kind of grey and not just.
Well,
one
they
or
tried
the other.
that. They
Thanos
tried
is
that with
purple.
the.
It's, unless you watch the movie in black and white.
They did try that though. They did try that with the. But the world's going to be ending soon, and I've had to take over. Etion have had to make humans into cyborg people. That's the only solution. What?
Yeah, it has a weird environmental stuff for a
Except-
movie that has a lot of cars putting out insane amounts of
and helicopters
yeah.
and explosions.
But yeah, so I was at this point. So they failed with Idris Elba's character. I was like, this is a nothing character that I have no investment in. So then later on, when it came to like action scenes and stuff, I was just like, I guess kill him. I don't care, whatever. But during this scene, you have a very kind of flat shot. You've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the left side. You've got Jason Statham on the right. You've got Idris Elba in the middle, and he's electrocuting them. Then what does the film do? It takes the camera and puts it on the other side so that then Jason Statham is on the left and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is on the right. There is a very basic rule in filmmaking. It's and when you're blocking a scene for conversation, and that is you don't break the 180 rule. So you don't have characters on one side of the screen and then flip to the other side so that they're on the other side of the screen. It's very confusing. It hurts the brain. And the film kept doing it. And then it would just take the camera and go somewhere fucking else. So they're in different areas of the screen again. And I'm like, pick a fucking side and commit to it. It kept breaking the rule. It's such a simple, basic rule. Anyone can know it. And
I just want to say, I had no problem with that scene, but I also hadn't had a large amount of alcohol. So
you can use the word severe.
a severe amount of alcohol.
Unhealthy.
Then they pulled a Mick Jagger.
Oh, that was just...
Mick Jagger's in this film.
No. It's they have little grifts that they did. Jason Statham and his sister, and I feel bad. I feel bad that I don't know the female character's name, nor the actress's name.
Elizabeth Kirby.
So Jason Statham and Elizabeth Kirby's character have grifts, and all of their grifts are named after aging British rock stars for some fucking reason. it highlights that Jason Statham and Elizabeth Carey characters are from the UK.
And that they have some sort of brother-sister relationship, so that builds character.
So then they pull Mick Jagger, which is just an explosion. The film, Philip. The film. I can't.
It's in the power plant stuff where I feel like the film starts to show its runtime, and because it was at this point I started to be like, I'm starting to lose it here. The fun's starting to go. I'm not caring as I don't care. I'm just like
that scene.
I wanted to just get away from it.
That whole power plant scene though highlights, and I think the only reason it's really in there because it achieves nothing other than exposition. And at the beginning of the film, where Jason Statham says, "I can't work with you. All you do is punch holes in problems," and The Rock says, "Well, I can't work with you because you're just a sneaky espionage man." That scene is then those two lines in form because The Rock gets in a big fucking tank and just starts driving through walls. Literally, that's all he does. And Jason Statham and his sister start sneaking about, trying to be all espionage. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's the. I thought it was the only reason that whole sequence was in there. So
they probably thought how, like, the writers were in the rooms, like, how fucking
this is
smart.
fucking awesome.
We're setting up for later on, and people are gonna have to watch the film multiple times to catch what we're doing.
Nope,
here.
I caught it the first time because it wasn't that fucking in depth. So yeah. Dumb.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's there that I feel the tread on the tire of the car that is the film began to wear thin.
Get the pun sound.
Thank you. And then thankfully it gets away from that and they go off to Samoa and things are a bit better because.
And let's talk about Samoa. So, best part, as mentioned previously, is the Sentai car helicopter chase sequence for multiple reasons. And I'm going to explain to you why that entire sequence is fucking madness. One, helicopters. Right, one, if you're in a helicopter and the bad guy says, "Get this helicopter up," and your helicopter pilot goes, "I can't, there's a car attached." Just because you kill the pilot and then pull down the stick more than the pilot was clearly trying doesn't make the helicopter go up more. That's not... Like, the fucking pilot would have been doing that. You can't just fucking change it.
He's a pilot. He's been trained.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a fucking cyborg man, Idris Elba, doesn't mean you can fucking do that. Two, helicopters, I don't give a fuck. The laws of physics, you can't just attach car after car after car after car to the fucking wing of a helicopter
Gary,
and it not break.
Please don't attach the laws of physics to Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, because
I know
gravity doesn't. Fucking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson jumps out of the top floor of a skyscraper and lands on a car and gets up and keeps going.
I suppose. So the final bit in all of this, though, which you haven't seen Skyscraper, so you can't enjoy this, and you probably didn't enjoy this as much with me. But when the moment that Jason Statham got in the front of the pickup truck with the crane, and The Rock jumps on the back of the pickup truck with the crane, and the helicopter starts flying around, and The Rock grabs the old pickup truck hook and starts... And I think, I could be wrong, I was in a pretty heady fit at this point because the film had frothed me up. But I'm pretty sure at one point he goes, "I'm fishing for helicopters."
Yeah.
And hooks the helicopter. From that point onwards, I knew I was going to get it, where The Rock was going to have to grab the hook and then grab the car and pull it together.
Kind of like Captain America in Civil War.
Well, like Captain America Civil War, or like in Skyscraper, where The Rock has to pull a bridge up and stop it from fucking crumbling into the ground. It's The Rock's new signature move, where he just pulls two things back together, and it's my fucking favorite thing. And he did do that.
It should be called The Magnet, not The Rock.
It was great. It was amazing. But madness.
Also,
more madness.
You pointed something out there, which is some of the dialogue and the one-liners in this film
terrible.
are atrocious.
Brilliantly terrible.
The worst one being they keep 2 or 3 times they make reference to the fact that Idris Elba's character is Black Superman, and then when it comes to the final showdown and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is delivering the final ending blow, he says, "It's kryptonite time," and then body slams him into the ground, and I gave up. I was just like, nope.
I got to bet a bit. But before we get into my favorite final bit of the film, the final little bit of the Sentai car chase scene that had me in stitches is after attaching not just one or two cars to the helicopter, I think in total 5 different cars. 4 or 5 different cars are all centipeded together, and then the front car is just about to come off the cliff because the helicopter inexplicably has enough fucking lift to take 5 cars off of the ground. When who says, is it Statham or The Rock says, guys, it's time to punch it.
But you know what's great in that situation? Much like in Joss Whedon's Avengers, none of them have earpieces.
None of them have
They're
earpieces.
Driving at horrendously fast speeds. There's a helicopter above
shouting
them.
at each other.
There's gunshots. Oh, we need to talk about the fucking guns and what the fucking plot device used. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, all this is happening, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson goes, hey, boost it, guys. And I'm like, there's not a fucking chance in hell any of them can hear you. Jason Statham's sitting next to you, and he doesn't fucking know what you just said.
And then they boost it, and what that means is the very front car sticks on his nitros, and then the second car sticks on his nitrous, and then the third car, and the fourth car, and the fifth car, they've all got the nitrous going, and they pull the helicopter out of the sky. What the fuck is happening in that film?
I also love that it has the quintessential Fast and Furious shot of let's do a CGI through the exhaust into the engine, NOS spitting.
The Transformer noise that fuck the Transformer bike. The Transformer bike that Idris Elba
the
has.
Transformer sentient bike. It's never explained.
Idris Elba just has a fucking Knight Rider bike that he can transform onto, and it sometimes drives next to him, and is like,
There's the chase scene. The chase scene that was filmed in Glasgow when they go in under the 2 trucks. His motorbike dismantles itself and rebuilds itself, and it keeps driving.
I'm sorry, I lost myself for a split second there. This film is beyond words. You please just go watch it and understand.
Do you know what's an amazing moment? And it happens in the opening of the film. Is Elizabeth Kirby's character gets away, and Idris Elba's like, damn. And then what happens? His motorbike just drives itself up to him, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What film are we watching?
I laughed at that point. I laughed way too much
like,
because
what the fuck is happening?
That bit is so stupid though, and the bike it comes out of nowhere. It has no explanation.
It just drives up, and at no point do they explain this sentient bike.
So yeah, sorry, I forgot. Had to scream about that. What were we saying? We were saying.
It's another great bit from the Samoa stuff. I love how we just break the film up into the beginning of the power plant and Samoa. But
I mean, that's it. That's its 3 acts.
When the whole family comes together and they're like, okay, we're gonna fight these bad guys. And like, oh, we've only got like swords and spears and stuff, so we've got to build some traps and stuff to get ready. So then there's the montage of like them digging and
I love
ready.
that their traps consisted of explosive barrels
that's the
underground.
Thing. They're just like, so we're getting ready. Here's the montage of like all of these elaborate things to fuck up the bad guys. And what they end up with is they just make a wee tiny wall of fire, some barrels stick out of the ground, and some spears, and they turn some headlights on. I'm like, really? It took you all that time to do that?
It's great.
That's it.
That's it.
Also, because they want to have the Samoa like brawl with spears and swords and stuff, they had to create, for some reason,
guns that don't work unless you have a microchip in the glove that you're holding.
Yes,
that activates the gun. But depending on when the film needed it, it either let the gun only be activated in the hand of said person, which in a few scenes it was like they have to grab the person's arm and then shoot everyone else with that bad guy's arm. Or later on in the film, as the film warranted, activates the gun for about a 3-4 minute period, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want with it until you have to reactivate it.
I love that moment where she goes onto the computer and then shuts off their guns for 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
And I'm just like,
no, the line right at that point though of, well, you can shut off these guns though, right? Oh, maybe, but I'm not exactly sure how much time. About 6 minutes. Wait, so you are sure?
You're not sure.
You're pretty sure?
And then of course, the line that follows that is, "That'll have to be enough." And then there's that great moment that like when their guns come back online, and I'm just thinking like, this is this insane futuristic mega cult corporation thing that's going to take over the world. But their fucking guns don't work because somebody used a fucking computer from
Somebody
the
hacked
90s
in.
to shut them off.
On a Samoan internet connection.
Do you know what you do at that point? You just go over to the local gun store and just buy a fucking gun.
Just
Because guess
regular.
what? You pull the trigger and it fire. It doesn't have this digital
Bullshit.
thing that activates it or doesn't. It doesn't. Because in the context of those men in that military force, it doesn't make sense to have weapons that are only activated. But it doesn't make any sense.
What? You know what doesn't make any sense? Just build the gun into Idris Elba.
Yeah.
He's a robot man. Just give him fucking
build the bike into him as well. Make him into a bike
You know what
gun
they should have
man.
done? Rather than make Idris Elba a part robot, they should have just built a fucking robot
They should have just.
and put Idris Elba's brain into
This
it.
should have just been Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Sorry, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw fights a Transformer. That's what the movie should have been. And Michael Bay directs it, and it's just Idris Elba as a Transformer.
I would have loved that.
human thing.
Yeah. So I got two more things I want to talk about, and then I think I'm tapped out. For our listeners as well, a lot of this recording has been either Gavin or myself having our hands firmly squeezed into our eyes in the sheer fucking stupidity of this film while we recount
And we loved
our
every second. of
dumbest
it.
moments of this film. So the two bits I want to talk about. The final one, The Rock's fucking edgy backstory with his family and his dad.
Yeah.
And I can't go here because my family hates me because I turned them all in because my dad was doing drugs, but now they run a successful chop shop, but they still hate me. What is any of that?
I mean, if you think
What is
about
any
it,
of that?
because I saw an interview with Dwayne Rock Johnson where he's like, Hobbs and Shaw has been this kind of superhuman character in the previous films. He's breaking off casts and pushing
Wait,
missiles.
Hobbs and Shaw?
Where?
You mean Luke Hobbs?
Yeah, the character of Hobbs. He's been like a superhero. He's done all these crazy things in other films, but now we want to bring him down and ground him. We want to bring in the sense of family. And it's just like, I mean, his character in the other films was sweaty muscle. So it's not difficult to try and make him into character. The film fails at it. It doesn't make him into character because in this he still continues to be sweaty muscle that kisses a woman and makes friends with his brother. But outside of that, it's just like
He's still a superhuman.
he's a superhuman sweaty muscle.
Yeah, exactly. So that was bad, pretty much start to finish. But then my final piece of this film, and then I think I'm done talking about it. And if you got anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. It depends what you say. It might spark something.
Oh yeah, I
Post
think.
credits.
Oh shit, post credits.
I only saw one
Okay.
because it was already going on too long and it was too late, and I
was
hadn't had a
going on
pint
long.
in at least 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I was like, I need to get out. You can get a pint.
So yeah, and this works well then. So the final bit of the movie that I just lost all semblance. I mean, by this point I'd lost most of it anyway, but this was the final marble getting flicked into the ring as I just sat back and giggled myself into stupor. Is when they get into the fight with Idris Elba, the final boss fight.
Yeah.
All through the film, Idris Elba's been able to outpunch them as every time they get into a fist fight, time slows down and you see Idris Elba calculate every movement. And you knew it was coming. You've seen it a mile off. At one point, The Rock goes to punch Jason Statham goes to punch him and gets floored within a second. But at that exact moment, The Rock drops something on Idris Elba and it hurts Idris Elba for the first time all film. And in the middle of this fight, as they've both been knocked back, they have this weird conversation where everything stops. Idris Elba stops attacking for some reason, and they get to have a full exposition chat about did you see that? Yeah. When he was punching you, I could hurt him. You know what you need to do? I could take a punch for you, brother. I could take a punch for you too. Fuck off! Oh, it was so bad.
But in the best way.
Oh man, and it was just.
And then post-credits wise, I stayed for the one with Ryan Reynolds. That was funny.
So I'm trying to think. There was two. There was I think that was it though. The Ryan Reynolds one was the big one. That's the only one I remember.
I don't know. I didn't see any other ones.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds one goes on for a while as well.
Well, I guess there's the one where they break Helen Mirren out of prison. Is that one of them?
That's one, isn't it? Yeah, they break Helen Mirren out of prison because
I guess she'll be in the next one more.
Hobbs and Shaw 9, 2. And then
Hobbs and Shaw 92.
and then the Ryan Reynolds like post-credit scene where they just rip into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's the thing. That fucking. Oh my god, it's so confusing. This film was clearly made at a time. There's 3 or 4 different times this film just rails on Game of Thrones.
A lot.
It's so out of place. It's so confusing. They're like Jon Snow and King of the North and the North. I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
And then if you haven't seen the Game of Thrones finale, I mean, what have you been doing? But if you haven't seen it, or you're midway through season 2,
don't they at one point talk about?
They spoil the ending.
They
of Game
spoil.
of Thrones.
Yeah, they're like, don't you think Jamie should have killed Cersei? That would have been better for his character. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's
in
madness.
this movie?
It's just madness. The whole film is madness. I'm gonna wrap it. Let's wrap this. The film is nonsense. It's great fun. Go watch it. Outside of all of that, if you still listen and thought that sounds like a fucking like a fever dream powered by gasoline and just pure adrenaline.
Then imagine experiencing it with your eyes.
Imagine experiencing it with your eyes.
Here's the perfect way
It's
to do
great.
it. Get your pals, get some drinks, go watch it, and then afterwards
Watch Skyscraper.
go to the pub afterwards and just try and together as a group, like a social self-help.
Circle jerk.
I was going to say social self-help moment. Just trying to understand what you've sat through as a community, and if you can, then you're a better person.
Send us a message. Let us know.
Did that film change you?
All right, guys, that's it from me. That was our take on Hobbs and Shaw. If you want to get in touch
Where do they go
with us-
next? I'm thinking the past.
Hobbs and Shaw 92.
Hobbs and Shaw 92. I was born in 92. They go back to they already filmed in Glasgow. They come back to Glasgow. Also, that's something I want to say. I now understand what Americans must feel like all the time when films show up and shoot something in their city, and they're just like, that's not anything. Because when you watch that,
It's so clearly George Square.
it is George Square. It's clearly not London. And some of the CGI with the sentient motorbike is awful. But anyone who listens to this podcast who lives in Glasgow, when you watch this chase scene, they go from one end of the city to another in ways I'm just like, motherfucker, no. I wish it was that easy to get around George Square and the city centre in a car.
I think it was...
They double back, like, they jump from... It's insane. They're like, one moment they're in George Square and the next minute they're up near the West End, and then they come around the corner back onto George Square from the West End. I'm
every two lefts, they're back on George Square. It felt like
it's a lot of George Square
every time. Yeah, it was World War Z. World War Z that had that chunk set in George Square, and then the caravan pulls out of George Square, and then it shows the next scene of them in Transylvania or some shit, and I was like, my simple brain couldn't comprehend because I knew George Square. I could identify it, and then it was in a field. Yeah.
It was weird. Also, again, just seeing Greg's in a fucking massive film of that scale is just weird. I feel
it's almost good as we will deep fry your kebab.
Oh yeah, and Avengers.
That's a hairdresser's.
I know, it's weird.
This is why do it up like a kebab, and then why make that stupid joke about Scottish people deep frying everything? Racist.
Maybe in the One Division we'll find out.
Maybe. All right, guys, that's it from us. You can catch us on all the usual format. We should just record this. We should record a standard
No, because I like the band that could possibly happen.
like this.
Yeah.
Like that empty silence. That's
Twitter,
what you like.
at Meandering Pod. Facebook, facebook.com/Meandering Movie Podcast. Instagram, search for Meandering Movie Podcast. Email us. Give us suggestions of ideas you'd like to hear about, or just tell us what you think of Audio Boy's salmon-coloured trousers. Anything you want. Meandering Movie Podcast at gmail.com.
They're orange.
There's a salmon. Or jump over and watch Gary on Twitch. That's Pixel Cafe. Give him a wee follow. Watch him play some games. Probably okay, not that well. The curtains are nice though.
I
That's
play
us.
games badly, but my bants are top notch. Slam.
And if you're real lucky,
wait. What noise was that?
and if you're real lucky,
Slam.
either Audio Boy or I might be in the chat sometime because we like to drop in and just torment Gary with comments.
And on that, slam.
Slurm to you too.
Bye.
It's Meandering Movies. It's Meandering Movies. It's Meandering Movies. So won't you lend an ear?